welcome to TRM1 with me, Heather. For today's class, you'll need two things. One, a stretchy band or a TheraBand, and number two, a static band or a rope. So I have two things here. I have a bathrobe tie and a jump rope, but something that doesn't have give like the TheraBand.
Legs here. So you've got the band around your right foot. Reach that left leg down to the floor. Here the goal is for you not to rock side to side when you move the leg. You can flex your foot or point your foot, doesn't matter. We're going to cross the leg over the midline of the body. As you breathe out, you're pulling the leg down, pulling it back out to the side, and bringing it up. So it looks like this. Cross. You're watching that the opposite hip does not roll off with the leg, so you're anchoring back through that hip. And then when you come out to the side here, how far you go depends on, does the opposite hip roll off with you? If that happens, then just keep the circle nice and small. The goal of this is just to move the leg inside the hip joint. So you're relaxed in the joint, the leg is working, the core is working to keep the hip down, but the hip inside the hip itself, you're relaxed, you're not tensing in there. So we'll do 10 on each side. Now on to the other side. So again, you have that option of your knee bent or your leg straight out in front of you. Point, I like to flex, I like to stretch my calves. And the inhale is to cross. The exhale is to pull that leg down and around. If you tend to hyperextend through your knee and push your knee, the back of your knee joint away from you, put a soft bend in your knee. You don't want to feel any tension in the back of the knee when you're doing this move at all. So it's an inhale to cross, exhaling around. Think of a piece of chalk on the bottom of your foot and you're drawing a circle on the ceiling. You'll notice as well when you're tracing these circles that there's a sticky part inside your hip, that there's a part where it doesn't feel like it rolls smoothly. Take a little time through there and see if you can get it just a little bit smoother each time. Good. So from here we're going to go into a stretch for the piriformis, for the back and the side of the hip. I get tight in there, so I like to do this one. You'll take your right leg and cross it over your left knee. We'll keep the left leg still in the band. Here you want to feel your tailbone down heavy on the mat. We're not tucking through the hips or overarching. Here you want to keep that tailbone connected to your mat. Your shin is parallel to the floor. Now if you're tight, it's going to look more like this. It doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that those hips don't twist on your mat. From here you're going to lower that left leg down. And now the stretch comes as you bring the left leg up. So now reaching your left heel up to the ceiling, pull that left leg in as close as you can while pressing the right knee away from you. And then lower down. And then pressing that right knee away from you. Again, making sure that you're not twisting in through the hips. You can do about 8 to 10 of those and then switch. Place the right leg in the band. Your left leg comes up. Check here that you haven't changed through your hips. They're heavy. holding on to the band, lower down, and then pulling that leg up here. Think heavy tailbone, heavy tailbone. One more time, heavy tailbone. And then lower and lift. Again, checking you're not rolling up off your mat with your tailbone. Good. Nice work. From here, I'm gonna roll up to sitting and now come up to kneeling. And if it hurts you to kneel on your mat, again, you can roll your mat up or you can grab a hand towel or a little pillow and place the pillow under your knees. So you have one on each side. The band is gonna go under the knees to keep it down. And now we're gonna hold on to the left side of the band with your right arm and we're gonna draw the sword. So feeling those shoulder blades come down. On your breath out, lead up with your baby finger. Think of lifting up. You're trying to pull your arm up without your shoulder going up. Let's do that again. And down. And lift. And down. If you have a really heavy, tense band, you may not want to go this high. This is about a medium to a hard band. Good. And next time you're going to hold this and think of little controlled movements at the top. Good. And bring that down. Now we're taking the band in both hands. We're going to rotate here. And back. You're staying connected down to the floor from your hips down. Where we're rotating is from the belly button all the way up to the top of the head. Let's do that again. And back. Good way to check if you have good form, if you don't have a mirror in front of you, is your fists are in front of your chest. Keep your eyes on your thumbs here. That way your head will rotate as well, and then come back. And back. Good. We'll do that for 30 seconds. And now moving on to the other side. Take the band in your left arm and draw the sword. And down. Notice I'm not letting go of the tension all at once. I'm keeping the tension. I'm increasing it here. And I'm resisting it as I come down, but I've still got tension on that band. And down. Take your right hand, if you can, and place it on your left shoulder blade. That's where your movement starts from. Feel your shoulder blade pull into your hand and then lift up. It doesn't start here. Shoulders are stable. Pulling up. Good. We rotate to the other side, keeping your shins pushing down into the floor. Your head is stacked over your ribs, over your pelvis. Bring the arms in front of the chest, not too high that the shoulders lift. And as we breathe out, we rotate. And back. This one we're under tension the whole time.
And now we're gonna sit on the band and go into rowing. So looping the straps between your thumb and your index finger, and if your band is long, you can loop it again. You wanna just make sure you have a little bit of tension here. Elbows are pulled back as in rowing, as they are in rowing, and now we're gonna reach up, feeling those shoulder blades move from your ribs. Hinge forward. Come up to a Y, open the arms, and circle to come back in. And again, we reach up, we hinge, we lift up, and circle. And reach. Hinge, up, and around. Last one. Let's hold this. Flex through your feet, reaching out through your heels, reach your hands up, pull the backs of the legs into the mat as you reach through the heels, lift your chest a little higher. You should be shaking here. Hold this. We're hip hinging. Your chest is not down on your legs here. You're lifted away from your chest. It's as if somebody's pushing you forward from your low back. Reach up, hold, and come up to a Y, circle the arms, and bringing them back in. Nice work. And now we can get rid of the stretchy band. We're gonna finish our class with a couple of stretches, a couple of static stretches, which means we're gonna hold them. So the difference between a static, we did stretching, but we did dynamic stretching. We were moving as we were stretching. Now we're gonna stay still as we do that. So we're gonna start with our shoulders. We're gonna stretch them out now. We just worked them really hard. Take your hands, open your fingers wide. You're gonna push all your fingers into each other, and now pull your forearms together. This is what it looks like from the front, from the side. So there's no space between the arms. How high up can you lift while keeping the arms together? So that's what we're doing here. And breathe in, and then as you exhale, you're lifting. And as I reach my fingers up to the ceiling, I think of my shoulder blades sliding down my back. Arms are pushing into each other, fingers are pushing into each other as hard as they can. You're lifting up, holding there, and then come down. Let's do that again. Go up, hold. Feel the shoulder blades coming down, hands pushing together, up, up, up. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I'm shaking all the way up. Good. Shoulders are relaxed. Shake them out just a little bit. Now we need the static band. So your bathrobe tie or a jump rope, which is what I'm going to use today. So let's go back down on our mat. Take the band and tie it around your arch. Feel your upper body resting on the mat. Your right leg is straight out in front of you. Again, if this is too much for your back, if you feel it in your low back, just put a soft bend in your knee. If you feel like your neck is working here, you can put a hand towel or a pillow under your head. The point here is to be relaxed. And now with a little bit of pressure, push into that band. You want to feel it tense. And you're going to point your foot and then flex it. And point and flex. Good. And again. The only thing you want to think about working here is your ankle. Point and flex, and see if you can point and flex just using your ankle rather than your toes. Good. And once you have that final flex, take both sides of the band. Here, if your knee is bent, you're going to want to straighten it out. You're going to hold on to both sides of the band in your opposite hand. Bring your left arm out to the side, and you're going to cross your leg over. There's two ways to do this. You can keep your hip back, and you'll feel more stretch here on the outside of your leg, or you can let the spine rotate. So keep your abs in and feel the weight of the leg pulling your spine off the mat.
Here you want to watch out that your hip is not hiked. So think about opening up the left side body. So you're pressing your hip away from you as you pull your toes to your nose. And that is this pathway for your sciatic nerve. So if you're feeling anything there that feels tight, that's what runs through there. So holding that. If it's just too much with your toes pulling to your nose, relax your ankle. Feel that stretch. And if you're feeling it more behind the leg rather than the side, lower your leg away from your nose a little bit. Bring your leg out. That should take the stretch into the side of the leg rather than at the back in your hamstrings. Good. And then from here, you're going to bring your leg up. You're going to switch hands. You're going to hold on to the band now with your left hand. You can put your right hand on your right hip bone to keep it down. And now let's open up that leg out to the side. Here, it doesn't matter how far out you go. What you want to make sure of is that right hip is not going with you. Your hip bones are in line with each other. Your tailbone's heavy. And then think about pulling your toes to your nose. You'll feel that in your inner thigh. And breathe into it and out. On the next breath out, bring that leg up. And now let's switch. Place your right foot in. Lower the leg down and then just pull it back up. You're surrendering the weight of your leg into that strap. So feel your leg heavy. Your arms are helping to hold that leg up. And here we're going to point the ankle and then flex the ankle. And point. Flex. Hold that flex. Both hands take a hold of the band with the left hand. Bring your right arm out to the side. Cross your leg over. And again, if you want more stretch here, your abs are pulled in across your waistband. You can let that hip roll up. You're pulling your toes towards your nose on this side, feeling that stretch on the side of your leg. Breath out, you'll bring your leg back. Once your leg is in line with your hip, switch sides. Hold with the right hand and you're opening that leg out to the side. Can't see here, but my elbow's resting on the floor. That's what's holding up the weight of my leg. I'm feeling the stretch go from my heel all the way to the opposite hip bone, that diagonal stretch. Everything in there is stretching. Next breath out, the leg comes up. Bend your knee. Take your foot out of the strap. Bend both knees. Roll yourself over to one side. Use your arms to push yourself up to sitting. Let's do one more stretch together. Bring your feet together, the soles of your feet. Take your hands, hold on to your ankles. Here you're going to try and press your knees down into the mat as you lift yourself up through your chest. Trying to pull the knees down to your mat. Good. Undo that stretch. Last one to finish together. Feet are wider than your shoulders. Bring one knee down, cross it over, and bring it out. So
So windshield wipering the legs. Wipering, is that a word? And down. Thank you for working with me today. I hope that you feel taller and your joints feel more open from doing this class. See you next time. Bye.